Hi y'all, it's Belle. Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another video. This video is going to be another recent reads. To start with is The Ship of Cloud and Stars by Amy Raphael, illustrated by George Ermos. Nico Cloud desperately wants to be an explorer, but her parents think adventures aren't for girls. Fate intervenes when Nico chases a kitten on board a ship, and then the ship sails out to sea. Nico is an accidental stowaway. Lucky for her, the ship belongs to a famous scientist who is on a quest for new discoveries. But clouds are brewing overhead and cunning pirates are determined to wreck the crew's mission. Can Nico steer the ship to victory and prove her parents wrong? This is a very female empowering story, and Nico's parents are kind of horrible, so I kind of understand why she would want to leave. She did do some things that irritated me, but overall it was a great empowering story, like I said, especially showing how hard it used to be for women in science, especially many years ago, when they couldn't go to school or practice science or even publish papers of their own. And it's a great edge of your seat adventure, thrilling, just grand time at sea. Love books at sea. There's an adorable middle grade cat too, and new friendships that are wonderful. And then another Lucy Strange book, Sisters of the Lost Marsh. Illustrator is Helen Crawford White. Life is hard for Willa, Grace, and Freya and their 3 younger sisters. 6 motherless girls working a farm, living in fear of their cruel father and the superstition that obsesses him, the curse of 6 daughters. With the arrival of the mysterious full moon fair, there is a chance for the eldest girls to steal a moment's fun, but the day of fair moves on. Grace vanishes. Willa goes after her, following a trail that leads into the dangerous Lost Marsh, where it's said a willow that lures lost souls into the dark waters of the mire. If Willa is to survive and reunite her family, she will need to unravel the secrets her father has kept hidden and face her own deepest fears. After now reading several books by this author and loving them, I can now say she's definitely become a favorite author. It was just so good. It had a gothic feel, was very atmospheric. It's full of family, sisterly love, and loyalty, superstitions, loss, grief, love, hope, adventure, self-discovery, magic, and heart. There's also a strong female message with the story. From the grandma and the 6 girls to what they've been through and achieved on their own. Her father is so terrible. I flew through this. Absolutely beautiful writing that just hooks you and refuses to let go until the end. Just highly recommend. And then I read a graphic novel, PAWS, Gabby Gets It Together, by Michele, Assarasakorn, and Nathan Fairbairn, and they're the illustrators too. I think each one follows a different girl in the group. Meet best friends Gabby, Priya, and Mindy. They are different in just about every way: personalities, hobbies, families, and more. But they have 2 important things in common. They absolutely love animals, and for reasons that are as varied as the girls themselves, none of them can actually have any pets. Unable to resist the adorable temptation any longer, they decide to come up with a way to finally get their hands on some furry friends, and as luck would have it, it seems like the neighborhood is in need of some afternoon dog walkers. So just like that, PAWS is born. But it turns out that running a business is much harder than it looks, especially with 3 co-owners who are such different people. When their disagreements ultimately lead to a doggo crisis, will it tear their business and friendship apart, or will they be able to get it together and save the day? This was a fun graphic novel read, and I love dogs so much, and so I love the whole idea of the story and seeing all the cute fur babies. However, all the girls were kind of mean and bratty. I just didn't like them at all. But other than that, the story itself was great, and the art is absolutely beautiful. And like I always say, I don't think kids would read it and have a problem with the characters like I did. I think kids would just love these. And then I read a Wayfinder Girls novel, Maggie and the Mountain of Light by Snoad. And the Monarch Press sent me a copy. Thank you so much. 12-year-old Maggie Thatcher longs to be a courageous Wayfinder girl, but that's not very likely. She is barely coping with life as it is, relying on her asthma inhaler, EpiPen, and the support of her best friend, Anahira Watiti. Maggie and Anahira attend a Wayfinder apocalypse training camp in London. Despite it being just for fun, the sight of a green-skinned person with otherworldly eyes sends Maggie into a panic, especially as it's a person that only Maggie can see. Maggie learns of a dangerous secret that the Wayfinder girls have kept hidden from the world. Anahira wants in on the secret. Maggie must decide whether to join her friend, even if she has no idea what the decision will ultimately cost. Will Maggie face her fears and journey into the unknown? This was another fun read. I love the descriptions of the creatures from the other worlds, and I love the idea of this whole plot. So intriguing. Humorous times as well with a couple of the creatures. The friendship between Maggie and Anahira is truly special, and Maggie's so lucky to have a friend like that. The anxiety and food allergy representation was very well done, and I think think kids who deal with those issues will feel seen and it'll be very relatable for them. I did get frustrated with Maggie sometimes, but that was just a me thing, I think. Overall, a fun read with friendship, mystery, adventure, magic, fae, and a great quest. And the cover is done by Corin Lineberg. And the next book in the order titles of this author's books that I had owned, The Painting by Charis Cotter. And the illustrator is Jensen Ekwall. Annie and her mother don't see eye to eye. Her mother is all about facts and order. Annie loves art and daydreaming. When Annie finds a painting of a lonely lighthouse, she is immediately drawn to it, and her mother wishes it would stay banished in the attic. Then Annie's mother slips into a coma following a car accident, and strange things begin to happen. Annie finds herself falling into the painting, where she meets Claire, a girl her own age, living at the lighthouse. Claire's mother, Maisie, is the artist behind the painting, and she and Claire have a difficult relationship. Annie feels a deep, mysterious connection to Claire, but feels powerless to help as Claire and Maisie's battles grow more and more bitter. Desperately worried about her own mother, Annie struggles to understand what is happening. Who is Claire? Why can Annie travel through the painting? And what does it all have to do with her silent mother lying cold and still in a hospital room? This was amazing, and I just loved it so much. This author comes up with the most fascinating and intriguing ideas for stories. I was so gripped by the story and didn't want to put it down. It's haunting, mysterious, suspenseful, and so atmospheric. The whole backstory of this family, the painting, just so intriguing. Beautifully written, and just amazing characters as well. So good. Highly recommend. And I read the first in this series. I think it's going to be a series. The Secrets of Martin House by Megan Cunningham. The author had sent me an advance reader's copy. When they accidentally uncover a centuries-old curse, the students in Martin House dormitory suddenly find themselves trapped in a web of conspiracies, mythology, and deadly treasure hunts. Meet the Earls. Harper Davenport has always had nightmares. For 11 years, she's lived in fear of sleeping because with dreams come dark figures, skeletons, and the number 14. Oliver Cranston is a new kid at Rosenfield Academy. Between the mysterious passageways appearing in the walls, his cute housemate's prophetic dreams, and his vengeful roommate, freshman year is chalking up to be far more exciting than Oliver ever expected. Jackie Martin loves everything pink. Her shoes always match her scrunchie, and when the new kid starts eyeing her treasured family heirloom and spouting strange riddles, you can bet she's going to find out why. Bruce Romano hates everything, especially his new roommate who has everyone fooled with his golden boy act. Why won't anyone believe him when he tells them the new kid is hiding something big? So many amazing layers. And even though it's a thicker book, it never felt that way. I couldn't wait to keep reading and could only put it down when I absolutely had to. This boarding school setting was so good. These 4 characters were all so amazing, each in their own right. Then the riddles, hunting for clues, conspiracies, treasure hunts kind of vibes, secret passages, rooms, family secrets and ties to it all, the history, archaeological vibes, and more. There's just so much packed in. The way the author created such a complex, intricate story and made it unfold at the perfect pace and all come together, while at the same time making it so thrilling and entertaining and gripping and intriguing. It's just brilliant. This is full of danger, mystery, friendship, found family, action, suspense, adventure, and more. Definitely a Goonies vibe, but just Goonies with a different adventure than the original. If it is a series and it continues like this, I can definitely see it becoming one of my all-time favorite series. Just highly recommend it, and I really hope there is more to come. And the illustrator of the cover is Yusef El Hindami. And the second, the Fireborn series, Phoenix and the Frost Palace by Aisling Fowler. The illustrator is Sophie Medvedeva. This was such a highly anticipated sequel. That first book became one of my all-time favorite reads, and I couldn't wait to dive back in the second book. And it did not disappoint. This was absolutely phenomenal. I could not stop reading it. It's so full of action and suspense, danger, magic, and more. This is such an incredible author. Superb writing skills. The monsters, witches, and all the creatures are also well written, as is everything in here. Everything about the Frost Palace was perfection. So detailed, I felt like I was there. Such beautifully written parts. Beautiful writing that brought these beautiful images to life for me. It gave me goosebumps to even imagine seeing such stunning things in real life. We're so lucky to have books and imagination, I'm telling you. Such an atmospheric setting, and everything we learned there was also so intriguing, along with everyone we meet there too. The author also does such a phenomenal job with her characters. They are so endearing, and you care for them so fast and so hard. They are a found family, and it's so amazing watching the progress so far of those relationships and how far they've already come and grown to care and depend on each other. Phoenix had great growth and development, and I love seeing how her story progressed in this book. The twists and turns were epic. One in particular, I was like, what? Nah. Dog and Witch still have my heart. Sharp Spark too. I cannot wait for the next book. Just highly recommend. And I read this second book in the PAWS graphic novel series, Mindy Makes Some Space. This time we follow Mindy, by Michele, Assarasakorn, and Nathan Fairbairn. Again, they're the illustrators also. I follow Mindy in this one mainly. Again, I love the idea of the story. I love dogs. The writing's so good and engaging. I just don't like these kids. They're so mean and sometimes just bratty, and Mindy is so horrible to Hazel, and using Hazel's disability against her is just not okay, and she just does it because she doesn't want to share her friends or PAWS with her. PAWS, the group that they created. Mindy is also so awkward to her mom and her mom's new boyfriend, but a guy had come around wanting to date my mom when I was younger, and I was the same way to him because, so I get that. Didn't make it right though, but I get it. But that's why I always say when I have these issues, it's not something kids would care about, I don't think, and I think kids would absolutely love these and enjoy them, and the art is so beautiful. Then I read an arc the author had sent me of The Legend of Greyhallow by Summer Rachel Short. She had a duology that I loved, so I was so excited to read this. 12-year-old Ainsley Galloway and her 10-year-old brother Tobin have just moved to a small, picturesque mountain town of Lowry. The town is the famous setting for the blockbuster Legend of Greyhallow trilogy, and there are traces of the films wherever they go. Ainsley's parents recently bought the film director's former home, which they dream of turning into an inn that caters to fans eager to check out the local Greyhallow movie festival. But when Ainsley and Tobin are fooling around in the attic of their new home, Ainsley unleashes something she doesn't quite understand. And suddenly purple mist is flooding the town, and she's receiving cryptic messages from strangers in medieval garb. Oddest of all, the enigmatic director of the Greyhallow movies, who's been missing for years, has a message for them. Ainsley and Tobin have opened up a passage between the very real magical world of the movies and their own. In a swirl of shifting loyalties, capricious creatures, and movie trivia, Ainsley and Tobin have to figure out what to do and who to trust in order to save them all. This was just a blast. I loved it. It was such a refreshingly unique and fascinating idea for a story. The idea of being able to go into your favorite fantasy movie series, meet the characters, and see the world and all the creatures, but at the same time, that would mean experiencing all of it, including the danger and mayhem. This is so fast-paced and action-packed. Great sibling dynamic, new friendships. I even love the way this real-world town sounded, and I also love this description of the house. I wanted to live in that house, in that town. It's like a fantasy movie from childhood that I would have watched and loved just in book form. Highly recommend. And the cover is by Stephanie Hans. Beautiful. And then lastly for this video, Lilliput by Sam Gayton, illustrated by Alice Rattray. She is a girl 3 inches tall with eyes like drops of dew. Her clothes are cut from handkerchiefs and stitched with spider silk. For half her life, she has been trapped in a birdcage while her giant kidnapper sits below her, writing in a leather-bound book. Her name is Lily, and tonight she is escaping. She is going home to Lilliput. Illustrations. I'm really loving this author's book so far. This was so good. This is inspired by Gulliver's Travels, which I've never read, but this kind of made me want to. Lily has so many unbelievable escape plans. She's truly just something. We have ventured through 18th century London, which I loved. There's an evil clockmaker, talking parrots, chocolate shops with some interesting residents, and a kind boy who's the hero of the story. So well written. It's like a classic fairy tale of its own, along with the beautiful cover. Like I showed, it's also filled with stunning illustrations throughout. Just highly recommend. Just a gorgeous book. Alright, that's it for this video. Did you see any that you're excited about that you want to read? Have you read any of them already? Did you like them? Did you not? Let me know in the comments, and I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you would like to subscribe, I would love that if you'd like to. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.